This optimistic scientist thinks that if human behavior is responsible for climate change, then heck, we can control future climate change and make it less extreme than previous climate shifts. Did anyone have a negative reaction to that claim? I hope so, because that's exactly what we're struggling with today. We are at least partially responsible for climate change, according to some scientists. And we can't seem to control ourselves, right? What do politicians do? They go to Paris and they say, look, let's all agree to not do as many bad things in 10 years. In other words, let's get the credit for being green and pass off the pain to our next generation of politicians. They're the ones who are going to have to implement it. Losers. But I guess we voted them into office. It's our fault. Okay, the scientist's argument requires assuming which one of the following? That we can make changes to our own behavior, right? This is a necessary assumption because of what word?
Then. Oh, if and then.
Yeah. So if then, you have an if clause is sufficient, then clause is necessary. But the question itself says the scientist's argument requires assuming which one of the following. The word requires means necessary. So that's how you know they're looking for a necessary assumption as opposed to a sufficient assumption. When you encounter a sufficient assumption question, they use the word, can anyone guess? What is associated with sufficient?
Enough.
Enough or if, right? The sufficient condition is the if clause. So they say something like this. Which one of the following, if assumed, allows for the conclusion to be properly drawn? That is a sufficient assumption because you're looking for something that would be enough to prove the conclusion. Here they're just saying it doesn't have to be enough to prove the conclusion. It just has to be something that must be true. What does the author have to be thinking? The author must be thinking that we're capable of controlling ourselves. And although it's not exactly what I said, answer choice B sort of restates that. Other answers that were tempting? Okay, how many people predicted this one? Nice. You guys are on fire. Okay.